Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Nerd Hurry Show, brought to you by Over a Beer. I'm Nick.
I'm Rich.
And this is episode 7, The Force Awakens.
The midi-chlorians have woken up.
Yes. So, if it's your first time watching the show, and I'm Nick, he's Rich, each week we do several episodes, one basically every day of the week.
Yeah.
We talk about news, we talk about what we've been up to, we have a discussion, assorted things. Go back, watch the old episodes, they're all really good. Most are pretty good.
Yeah.
There's a couple.
There's a couple.
There's a couple, but you will have to find out which ones aren't good on your own. But we always start off the week with the news. Mm-hmm. So why don't we do that? But first, we are over a beer, so each episode is over a beer.
Well, this is a little different. We're not over a beer. What was this one over?
This one's over a hard cider.
Hard cider.
Mackenzie's hard cider, to be exact. And this one is a hand-pressed pumpkin jack, courtesy of, again, Mackenzie's hard cider out of Seneca, New York.
Cheers.
It's definitely a pumpkin cider.
Yep. That is what it is.
Not a fan?
I am not a fan of that.
I think it's alright. Are you generally not a cider person?
I'm not a big cider person to begin with. So, I mean, I tend to like pumpkin beers, but this is not doing it for me.
Alright, it's going to be a fun week. So, on that note, what is the news?
Okay, so like you said, we start off every episode with the news. We pick kind of the top 5 news stories, or what we feel are the top 5 news stories.
Rich chose this week's stories.
Yep.
I don't know what he's going to choose. So let's go through it.
Alright, the first one I have on here, I think we've talked about this a little bit off camera. Alien 5 has been put on hold indefinitely, or supposedly, for Alien Paradise Lost. But Blomkamp is moving on to other projects during this hold.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so, for those who weren't in the know, Neil Blomkamp, director of District 9, Chappie, Elysium, was going to be making an official sequel to the Alien movies, basically really a sequel to Alien 2, Aliens. He was kind of going to ignore 3 and 4, that was the word on the street. And then there was word, then Ridley Scott started developing Prometheus 2, now it's called
Alien Paradise Lost.
Stupid. And so there was some rumors going around that might push Alien 5, and now it looks like Alien 5 it's been delayed indefinitely. My guess is not going to happen.
Yeah.
And he was going to be doing this, he was hoping to do it with Sigourney Weaver, with Michael Biehn. The odds of getting them every year just becomes less and less likely. So we'll see. I guess I'll start with my opinion. I have become increasingly less and less of a fan of Neil Blomkamp. I wasn't excited necessarily that he was going to make this. I was excited for the idea of a sequel. Yeah. A true sequel, not a Prometheus, Alien, whatever the hell. But, so in spite of Blomkamp, I was excited for this. It's kind of a bummer. I would have liked to see a true sequel to Aliens, even though I like Alien 3. A lot of people don't. I think Alien 3 is a pretty good movie. I could see how it could have worked. You would have had to literally throw those out, but you could have just said that her and Michael Biehn were in cyber sleep for years and years, and that's why they're older now. What about you? Are you disappointed about this delay?
I'm really not. I haven't seen Elysium or Chappie. I really like District 9. Kind of on, I've seen it, I think, probably 2 or 3 times overall, and I think every time I've seen it, I've liked it more. It's been quite a few years, probably since, what the year was it came out, but
2009.
Yeah, I remember rewatching it for the Oscars and stuff, and I liked it a lot more than the first time, but I missed it on Elysium. I heard, not a lot of great things about it. Same thing with Chappie. The concept art that he put out was interesting. It was very different. I'm not, again, I like Alien 3. So wasn't totally on board with just, dumping these sequels. I mean, they do exist. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that would almost be unless other people who are in the know, unless you're aware, that might be confusing to just kind of casual fans of the franchise.
Yeah.
Just be like, oh, we ended with
A little bit disrespectful to
Yeah.
people like David Fincher, even though he's not proud of Alien 3.
Yeah.
Should be.
Joss Whedon and
Joss Whedon, Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
Yeah. Just be like, well, your movies don't exist. We're just going to kind of ignore it. But yeah, I'm not super bummed about this. I'm okay with it. So unless they move on to other stuff, that's
Yeah. Now I don't have to even worry about getting excited about Neil Blomkamp's next movie.
yeah.
It'll probably just be another South African set thing. And, the only other thing that he could do that would get me kind of excited is, if you remember way back when, even before District 9 had come out, he was the guy who was going to make a live-action Halo movie.
Yeah.
If that were to happen again, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I just don't know if they would give him that anymore.
Well, I think they've done enough outside of the Halo games. They did their live action series. They're doing. I was just listening on a podcast the other day. They're doing some other kind of. They're doing a series based on the Fall of Reach book, I think. So I think there's enough other Halo media right now where they wouldn't necessarily need to bring him in to do a live action. I think Xbox kind of is on the ball for that right now.
A movie still would be
Yeah.
potentially interesting.
But I could see them, doing something in house.
Yeah.
Before let's dredge up this old thing.
He wouldn't be the first choice.
No, not anymore.
Alright.
So let us know. Are you disappointed with the fact that there's Alien 5 is no longer or is on hold indefinitely? Let's see. I have a few different stories in here. Let's do this one. This one you can speak to a little bit more than I can. There is a rumor now about the standalone Batman film with Ben Affleck.
Okay.
That it is going to be based on Under the Red Hood.
Mm.
Thoughts? You've read these. I have not. You can speak to a little bit better.
Alright, so we know, or we assume we know, based on the last Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice trailer, that they're going to at least address the death of a Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So in the comics, we know that from the trailer because, sorry if you didn't watch the trailer.
Potential spoilers if you don't know anything.
You see a Robin costume in a case with Joker handwriting written over it, like, haha, you let him die or something. I forget exactly what it says. In the comics, back in the 80s, after Dick Grayson, who was the original Robin, moved on, they made him Nightwing in the 80s, and they made a new Robin, which was Jason Todd.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason Todd was viewed by a lot of fans as, a lot of people didn't like him as Robin. They viewed him as annoying and such like that. So to the point where DC actually held a thing where people were able to call into a hotline and decide whether or not he should die. People voted, and they voted for him to die. That's how unliked he was. So they did this storyline called A Death in the Family.
Okay.
And in that storyline, Joker killed Jason Todd's Robin. Apparently might be what happens at some point in Batman v Superman, or it's going to be alluded to. Flash forward years later, like 15, 20 years later in the comics, also in real life, there was an event called Under the Red Hood, where Jason Todd comes back to life by means that I won't spoil, and as the Red Hood, a vigilante who is somewhat like Batman, but he kills.
Okay.
And Batman has to stop him, and he doesn't know it's Jason Todd, and blah, blah, blah. So apparently they might do Red Hood, who is a very popular character, and they've also said in the new movie they are going to have Dick Grayson as Nightwing. So those are two characters that have never been in the movie. Dick Grayson was portrayed by Chris O'Donnell as a older Robin in both Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, those movies. Under the Red Hood is one of the best stories, so I could definitely see that being pretty awesome. I think it would just be cool to see those characters. I don't know, does it excite you at all?
I mean, it definitely interests me because, it's not the same retreading of the old Batman stories that we're not getting another origin story, we're not getting any of that. I'm curious where they put the Batman standalone in the timeline, whether this is true or not, because, they've established that Batman v Superman, Ben Affleck is a much older Batman, so I'm curious, are they going to try to be like, oh, well, this is how it led him up to the point in Batman v Superman, or are they going to just take it from the end of Batman v
I
Superman?
think they're going to take it from the end of Suicide Squad, however that movie ends.
That's true.
And we can decide in a second if we want to get into some of that speculation about Jared Leto's Joker. But in Under the Red Hood, one of the reasons that he comes back to Gotham is to kill the Joker, because he killed him. So you could also, with that in mind, you could include Jared Leto's Joker.
Sure.
I'm assuming he's going to be very popular. After Suicide Squad, they're going to want to put him in another movie. Do we want to talk about this rumor that was going on a few months ago about Jared Leto's Joker?
I mean, we can.
We're going to say something that could end up being a spoiler. It's not confirmed.
Yeah, so it's air squared up.
Yeah. Rich, we'll do that when we're done talking about it.
Yeah.
If you want to scrub forward. So there's a rumor about the Suicide Squad and Batman v Superman that Jared Leto's character of the Joker is not actually the Joker, but that it is Jason Todd.
Yeah.
Who has come back, or something happened traumatic to him, and now he's the Joker.
He's the Joker.
Whether or not that's true or not, I could see it. It's never been done in the comics.
Yeah, and that would certainly be an interesting...
It would be interesting. Part of me has kept thinking in the back of my mind that that's what it's going to be, and now we have this news of the Red Hood storyline being used, and that makes me think maybe not. Maybe, people were just wrong on that. I think whichever way they go, it could be interesting.
Yeah.
It definitely would have been interesting to see this new idea of a Joker actually being that. It would have kind of ruined the Harley Quinn origin. And also, depending on how they do it, assuming they use her true origin from the comics, it kind of would have ruined that. It kind of ruins the motivation of the dynamic between Joker and Batman. That was one of the things that worried me about that news. But it would have also left the door open for them once they're done. Once Jared Leto is done doing it, they could then have the real Joker come back, and so you get two Jokers in the same franchise without having to recast. So that would have made sense for them, but we'll see. I don't know. Do you have any other thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I think either would be interesting at this point. Again, like I said, I'm not as versed in the comics really at all. I know bits and pieces here and there, but it all sounds like stuff that would be very interesting to me as somebody who has seen all the Batman stuff and is like, this is something different. I'm not going to sit there and be like, well, this isn't how they did this in the comics, or this is different. Like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them kind of doing their own thing and treading one that we've never seen before.
And I'm as much as I mean, Batman is my favorite character in pop culture, period. And I'm 100% okay with that too. We've seen Batman done numerous different ways. To me, the truest version of how I think of Batman was already done with the Dark Knight trilogy. I don't want them to do the same thing again. I want it to be my ideal situation that I've always talked about, even when the Dark Knight movies were coming on and I would talk with other friends, speculate about what happens next, was something in between the seriousness of Christopher Nolan's movies and the campiness of the Burton and Schumacher films. Not that far in either direction. I wanted it to be still a serious movie, but one that would leave open the possibility of a Clayface or a Killer Croc or something, because those villains were never going to pop up in Nolan's movies. And so some of those things that we've never seen, like Red Hood even, like Nightwing, I really hope that we get to see. I hope that we get to see, like I said, Clayface, Killer Croc. Well, we are seeing Killer Croc. He's in Suicide Squad. So as part of that's already coming true. Before we move on, what is your take on these movies? Like, are you excited for BVS? Are you excited for Suicide Squad and the Batman movie and whatever else comes?
I kind of the more I see, the more interested I get into it. I'm a little sick of seeing Suicide Squad stuff just because it's been so much, and it's like, oh, here's these photos they leaked, and here's this, and here's that. And I think I just want to see it. Like, stop showing me stuff. You show me enough. As far as Batman v Superman, I had zero interest at first because I do not like Man of Steel.
Right, me either.
I think it's a mess. There's very little I like about that movie. So I really had zero interest in anything that Snyder and Gore were going to do after that. I don't care. The more I've seen of it, the more interested I am in it. This idea of, he's kind of looked at this as God and yada, 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 and it's we're seeing a different Bruce Wayne come out of it. And I really like Ben Affleck. I think we've talked about it on the show before. I don't think he deserves the crap that he's getting now.
Right.
He's
moved.
He's more than made up for Daredevil and things like that and whatever. But
I like Daredevil. Yeah, I understand.
Sure. I'm very interested to see. I'm more interested probably to see Ben Affleck's Batman than I am Batman v Superman or Suicide Squad at this point.
I'm definitely interested in all of it. I'll know how interested I am in Ben Affleck's Batman after we see what they do with the character in both Suicide Squad and that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in the Suicide Squad trailer. That's not a spoiler. The only other thing that I would also note that excites me about BVS, even though I really almost straight up hate Man of Steel, is bringing in Chris Terrio, the writer of Argo, to do that script, to redo David S. Goyer's script, is very promising.
I agree.
I have faith in Zack Snyder turning it around. I like more of his movies than I don't. And I like the cast. So we'll see. It's going to be exciting. I just hope, that DC isn't trying too much too fast.
Yeah.
Like, in a way, like with BVS, they're really like, it's almost like they're starting with Civil War, which Marvel is only just getting to.
Yeah.
And then they're going to just jump into a Justice League movie before they do solo things, or Wonder Woman's going to have, like, the layout of how they're doing it is, it's weird, but they clearly don't want to be that far behind Marvel. They want a Justice League movie.
Well, they kind of came out and went, okay, here's our slate. We haven't done anything yet, but here's everything we're going to do for the next 5 years.
I don't think all of that will happen either, but that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah. So moving on, let's see, the next piece we've got here is, let's do this one. There has now been confirmed there's going to be an all-female Ocean's 11 starring Sandra Bullock. What are your thoughts?
Produced by Clooney.
Yeah.
So it's a remake of Ocean. Well, it's unclear.
Yeah, they've just kind of said
it might be a remake. It might take place in the same universe, leaving open the return of some of those characters.
Just have a whole cinematic universe of Ocean's 11. But yeah, they've just kind of said it's going to be a female Ocean. It's going to be Ocean's 11, but with women. And
without Soderbergh, but plus Gary Ross.
Yeah.
Director of Hunger Games and Seabiscuit and Pleasantville. I guess the first thing that I would start off by saying is the first Ocean's 11, I think, is
the first or the original.
The
first.
The original with Sinatra and Sammy Davis and Dean Martin is fun, but I mean
the first Clooney one.
The first Clooney one.
Okay.
I think is of the last 20 years, it's one of the most enjoyable popcorn films in my opinion. I think everybody that it's got a great cast, great storyline, the whole heist at the end I think is wonderfully filmed.
It's a lot of fun. It's a very fun.
It's a very, very, very fun movie. The second one less so. The third one is okay.
Yeah.
So I like that franchise overall. I'm not opposed to the idea of an all-female remake at all. I'm not going to pull like another Ghostbusters featured thing. Another thing that I'm not opposed to. I just hope that they have more reason for doing this than just let's have a bunch of women.
Exactly.
And maybe they do.
And that's kind of my point on it too. Is like again, I'm not against it. I wasn't against Ghostbusters, but there needs to be a point to it. Instead of just let's just do it just to do it for the sake of doing it.
Because that's not a good enough reason.
Yeah.
I think that Sandra Bullock, being the first person announced in this cast, she is sort of like a female George Clooney. I mean, obviously they were both in Gravity.
Yeah.
But I mean, she is, she's an Oscar winner. She has done, comedy. She's done drama. She's done it all. Whether or not I think she earned that Oscar or not, that's a different debate. But I hope that the rest of the cast, I mean, that first movie, I mean, all three, it's not just Clooney. It's Matt Damon, it's Brad Pitt, it's Don Cheadle, it's,
it's such
Bernie
a great
Mac.
ensemble.
It's a great cast. So I hope that they are able to match that kind of powerhouse cast, because that's sort of what was so fun about that movie, was seeing all these people together. And if they're able to do that, Gary Ross doesn't exactly excite me. But sure. Would you rather it's just a reboot, or would you like it to kind of open the door to actually have some of those other guys return?
Probably the latter. I don't think it needs to be. There's no need to do a reboot. That movie's
I wouldn't
only
want to see the
like
same story.
10 years old, 12 years old. I mean, it's not.
Something like
It's
that.
not very. It's relatively.
2001, I think.
Yeah, it's not that old. But I kind of like, why does it need to be Ocean's 11? Can it just be just a heist
Well,
film? But I mean, they're banking on the Ocean's 11. What are they going to call it?
That's the question.
Ocean.
Is it a remake, or is it?
That's true.
A continuation. Because if it's a remake, just call it Ocean's 11 again.
Yeah.
But if it's a sequel and it's like Danny Ocean's, sister that we never knew about.
Danny and the Oceanettes.
Yeah. Sure. I don't know. I'm not really opposed to this.
No, I'm not either. I'm just like you said.
We don't know enough yet to be venomously against this.
No, my knee-jerk reaction certainly isn't against this. It's I hope there's a reason for it.
Yes, that's the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm. So next thing here, in 2017, we are going to have a new Star Trek series. It will be the first. I think the pilot's going to air on television, and then the rest of the series will be the first series for what is being called CBS All Access, which is going to be their CBS's streaming service.
Alex Kurtzman, who co-wrote Star Trek and Star Trek Into Darkness, the first Star Trek 09 movie, and Into Darkness, was going to be writing, directing the new one, right? But no longer is going to be the producer, maybe showrunner of the show. It's apparently not going to have anything to do with the current movies. It's not going to be like it's not going to be a continuation of that. I don't know if it's going to take place in the old Star Trek timeline or in this Star Trek timeline. That's not clear.
Maybe just be another alternate timeline, or
for the majority of my life and your life, I don't know if you're a Star Trek fan or not, but Star Trek The Next Generation, and then Star Trek Voyager, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Star Trek Enterprise, basically all of growing up there was Star Trek on television.
Yeah.
And then ever since Star Trek Enterprise ended, 8 years ago or whatever, there's been no Star Trek on television. And so I've missed that, and I would be excited for a new show. The problem is, this isn't going to be on television either.
Yeah.
It's going to be on a pay service from CBS where you pay $5.99 a month. Currently, it could go up by the time the show goes up, to get digital streaming access to The Good Wife and The Mentalist or whatever else is on CBS, plus the new Star Trek show. That part doesn't excite me. More Star Trek? Sure. We don't know anything about it. We don't know what... Is it going to take place, way further down the line? Is it going to take place, before Star Trek Enterprise? I don't know what this show would be.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think about
it? It would be weird, if it's not going to be in the same cast with the same specific characters.
Yeah, no.
It would need to either be a totally different group of people, or take place in a different time. Something to make sure that you're not going in. People are going in and being like, "Oh, look, more Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto," and this isn't the Star Trek that's in everybody's minds.
Right, because the movies have been pretty big.
Yeah.
But I mean, so you had the original Star Trek series. Then you had Star Trek Next Generation, which took place, whatever it was, 50, 60, 70 years after.
Yeah.
And then Star Trek Deep Space Nine and Voyager took place kind of in that same time frame as Next Generation. They've never done further back. Enterprise went back to before Star Trek, the original series. So they've kind of covered a whole lot of space. But I don't know. I don't know what it is.
No, I don't love the idea of it being on a pay service streaming.
I don't
thing.
understand that.
Everybody's trying to jump on board with this, and it's kind of getting. To me, it's getting a little out of hand.
Put it on Netflix, put it on that, but to just put it on this thing that you have to pay for to get CBS shows.
Yeah.
Which anyone can get CBS. You don't even have to have cable. You can still get the little tuner thing.
Yeah.
At CBS. Why would I have to pay extra just for this show? I'm not going to do that. I'll watch the first episode and then I'll wait until it's on DVD or whatever.
Yeah, and then you can
I'm
get the
not-
DVD from Netflix.
yeah, that's true.
I mean, that same argument can be made. Somebody who does Netflix, like, why should I pay it? You know, I want to see this, I want to see that. But I mean,
It's a little bit different.
It is different because CBS is already a channel that I can go and there's not a Netflix channel for me to go and watch. There's a CBS channel that I can go any night of the week and I can watch whatever's on there.
Yeah.
And there's CBS shows that are free on demand if you're, you know, through your cable provider and stuff.
Like if they really want to push the CBS All Access, put the episodes on there a week before they debut on like Saturday nights on CBS.
Yeah.
Like do something like that. Why does it only have to be on CBS, like on a digital service of something? Like I don't even know how to get that. Can you watch?
Do people use it? I never even heard of this service.
I knew that it had started, but like I don't think it has like a PlayStation app. I don't think it has an Xbox thing. I don't think it's not on Apple TV. I'm pretty sure. Like I mean, granted this is over a year away, 2017, but like other than just sitting in front of my laptop, is there a way to watch this? Like,
yeah, and that's kind of one of the big problems with a lot of these streaming services. Is like there needs to be ways to watch it other than on my laptop.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
But more Star Trek on TV.
Yeah, so I mean that's definitely something to look forward to.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you're excited about this one or not. I found this out today. Billy Bob Thornton has been confirmed for Bad Santa 2, and it will begin filming in January of 2016.
Okay, so is Terry Swigoff, or however you say his name, is he coming
They
back?
have not announced a writer-director yet.
Okay.
I know the article I was reading, there's like a lot of different people who I think have come through the project, but they've never. Maybe that was something else I was reading. But there's no one locked down for it. As of what I read, hadn't set anybody for it yet.
All right. So the first Bad Santa, awesome movie, hilarious.
Yep.
Billy Bob's great in it, but also part of what makes that movie so watchable to me is Bernie Mac and what's his name there?
Which one? The kid or
Eight Simple Rules.
Oh, John Ritter.
John Ritter.
Yeah.
Like they're both unfortunately dead. That sucks. Seeing Billy Bob in the role again could be great.
Yeah.
I think that it's a pretty well self-contained movie. One thing that I'll say is that movie came out in like 2002, 2003. And I think that there's not really good examples of good comedy sequels, and there's fewer examples of good comedy sequels that come out 10 plus years later. I mean, think of Dumb and Dumber 2, Anchorman 2 was kind of a letdown for sure. It might just be too late.
Yeah, my knee-jerk reaction was just awesome. Billy Bob Thornton's back, Bad Santa 2, and I was like, well, wait a second. The first one's it's like you said, it's really well self-contained. Like it doesn't need a sequel. It has a good arc to it. For as raunchy as as vulgar as that film is, it's got a lot of heart to it, and it has a really good end to it. Like, do we really need to see more of it? And and that came out. You said it was 2001, 2003, somewhere around in there, early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
And now, could whatever it do be anywhere as raunchy or on as edgy as that it was then? Like, I feel like we've almost
it's just a little bit too late.
And people have tried to Bad Teacher and things like that. Like, oh, we've seen kind of copycats of this in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
So is it? Yeah, like my first thought is Anchorman. It's like everyone was excited for Anchorman 2, including myself, and I saw it. I'm like, nope, this is not good.
No, I didn't even bother seeing Dumb and Dumber 2.
No, I didn't see it either.
Nobody that I know that saw it gave me any reason that I needed to. So, sometimes you just gotta let it be. But I'm gonna keep an open mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's also a little bit alarming that it's just Billy Bob. I mean, they've been trying to get this movie made for a long time.
Yeah.
There's been on and off again rumors about it for a long time. But we'll see. It could be good. We're also getting Zoolander 2. Soon.
Which I have read, hesitant about that. I'm cautious about that too.
Right. So that's another one that seems like, do you have a reason to?
Yeah.
But we'll see. Again, it will. Billy Bob,
That's I'm excited to see him back in the role again, as long as it's everything is done.
Yeah.
It's done right.
We'll see. It could be good.
Yeah.
For sure. So is that
That's
5?
That's 5 stories.
That's 5. That's our top 5 for
Yeah.
the week. So let us know what you think of those news stories. Let us know what else we missed.
Yeah.
If there's something else we should have covered. Do you want to see Bad Santa 2? Is it necessary?
I don't think so.
Maybe an all-female Bad Santa?
Bad Mrs. Claus.
Oh, there we go. Bad Mrs. Claus.
It's like a late night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's gonna do it for this week's, for today's episode. Anyway, come back tomorrow. We'll have all new content.
Yeah.
Look forward to that.
If you want to keep in touch with us, we're both on Twitter. I'm at Rich Belson.
I'm at Stonks.
The channel's on Twitter at OABeer_official. You can also email us at overabeerofficial@gmail.com. If you like the content, like the videos, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. We appreciate all of your support thus far. Yeah, that's
Cool.
all I got.
All right. Later.